Carrington felt as though she'd collided with a moving train. The room around her echoed with sweet laughter and flirtation. Handsome men softly led blushing young ladies around the dance floor, while other girls looked on from corners, smiling with gleeful exuberance, all of them too consumed with their personal victories to notice the dread filling Carrington's face. She should run. Maybe she could get away before they came for her. But how many girls had successfully escaped from the authority? None. Her hands trembled at her sides as bits of reality began to crash against the inside of her skull. How could things have gone so wrong? This was not supposed to happen to her. Panic pricked at her legs, and that voice of self-preservation shouted at her to stop standing there like a corpse and move. Carrington turned toward the massive Capitol building doors and saw the horde of City Watch guards enter. Silently, they spread out across the room and headed for Carrington and the other girls who stood in fearful recognition. The guards' black uniforms fit their forms tightly enough to punctuate how impossible it would be to overpower them. Their faces were fixed in stern focus on the task of collecting the unchosen and escorting them to the exiting room. Fear filled Carrington's chest like a balloon. Sweat bled through the skin on her forehead. The room felt as if it were being pumped full of hot air that wilted her lungs. This wasn't right. This wasn't the plan. She should be looking on others with pity, not feeling it for herself. All the hours spent, all the learning and dreaming and wishing. Her entire childhood had been consumed by one singular thought, preparing for a single moment. This wasn't right. Before Carrington could form another thought, a City Watch guard was standing inches from her. He stretched out his arm in the direction he wanted her to move. Still dumbstruck by her situation, she hesitated. His brow folded, his soulless eyes narrowed to slits, and the corner of his mouth began to twitch. He thought she was being defiant. Carrington swallowed her panic and found her feet. Her legs felt like gelatin, and the ground swayed beneath her. It was impossible to ignore the slight glances from girls she knew, girls she had grown up with, girls from her practicing classes, girls now standing beside the men who had chosen them.